Hello and welcome to our talk. My name is Raphael Brüngel and I'm also representing my colleagues Johannes, Rückert and Christoph Friedrich. All three of us are affiliated with the Department of Computer Science of the University of Applied Sciences and Arts in Dortmund, Germany. Today I'm glad to present you our short paper with the title Project-Based Learning in a Machine Learning Course with Differentiated Industrial Projects for Various Computer Science Master Programs. First, I'd like to give a brief introduction and explain the motivation behind it. To meet industrial needs, graduates of universities of applied sciences must be able to address real-world problems. However, the size of greater ones and the complexity might overstrain them. Project-based learning approaches with industrial projects have thus become an acknowledged format. These allow to get a glimpse of what comes next. In regards to machine learning, a major obstacle is the higher technology fluctuation, which makes sustainable training hard to accomplish. Joint courses are hard to address, as a profound focus on distinct study programs is challenging. The research presented here describes a reframed teaching approach towards project-based learning in a joint machine learning master course. The approach was introduced in the summer semester 2018 and addresses several recommended aspects for enhancement of learning and teaching defined by the EFFECT project. A highlight is that industrial projects are differentiated for various master programs. The approach took place at the Department of Computer Science at the University of Applied Sciences and Arts in Dortmund. Here, 3 different computer science masters are offered: business computer science, medical computer science, and practical, respectively technical computer science. Their joint machine learning course takes place in the summer semester, has a volume of 5 credit points, has about 40 to 50 attendees each year, and offers weekly lectures and lab sessions. For this course, a semester task exists that has a share of 20% in the final score. This equals 1 credit point and demands about 30 hours of work. However, usually these semester tasks are seen as necessary evil by students. The reframing of the teaching from classical to project-based learning was realized as part of the DiffPro-ML project. Its major goals were to introduce differentiated project-based learning to address the diverse master program's heterogeneity, as well as to transfer machine learning know-how into preferably local, small and medium-sized enterprises. In regards to the approach and methods, the reframed approach is organized so that students experience the cross-industry standard process for data mining, or short CRISP-DM. This comprises a cycle of business understanding, data preparation and modeling, as well as evaluation and deployment. For realization of the reframing, preconditions comprise 2 part-time research associates in the DiffPro-ML project that served as tutors. As stated before as highlight, mini-projects are the heart of the approach. These are projects of small extent, of about 30 hours of work, are accomplishable by a group of 2 to 3 students, and address real-world problems resolvable via machine learning methods. These are agreed upon with SMEs, and proposals are presented to students 3 weeks after semester start. Students are free in grouping, selection of methods and organization, and have 10 weeks of time for accomplishment. Examples for mini-projects are for business computer science, credit card fraud prediction in text-based transaction log files, for medical computer science, pediatric bone age regression for 2D hand X-ray images, and for practical and technical computer science, mechanical component distortion detection in test facility videos. An initial acquisition of mini-projects was realized by approaching the department's Industry Advisory Board. Additional mini-projects were acquired from personal contacts to the local industry. After accomplishment of mini-projects, students may proceed them as project or master thesis. For their work on mini-projects, students are provided with specific manuals and tools created in the DiffPro-ML project. Minimal working examples are provided for reduction of implementation-related barriers. Working environments are pre-assembled as Docker containers, and manuals and tools are kept up to date. In case vast computational resources are required, access to an NVIDIA DGX1 supercomputer for deep learning can be granted. Throughout the semester, student groups can receive guidance by tutors. Weekly lab sessions can be used for discussion, and additional appointments are possible. If required, also a direct dialogue with industrial partners can be appointed. At the end of the semester before the finals, a conference-like closing event or workshop is hosted. This is attended by students, industrial partners, and interested third parties. It's inspired by scientific conferences where students submit presentations and are reviewed. A revision is mandatory and deadline-based, however, acceptance is guaranteed when compliant. In the following, some impressions from the workshop are shown. Oral presentations with questions are scheduled for 12 plus 3 minutes each, and a joint poster session is scheduled for 1.5 hours. An open-end reception-like networking session with food and beverage closes the event. Here, attendees are motivated to discuss results and potential future work. The whole event is scheduled for 4 to 5 hours. At the end of the workshop, a questionnaire is handed out to student groups. A first empirical evaluation was performed in 2019 when the format was sufficiently matured. When talking about general observations and results, in 2 years, 45 mini-projects of 28 industrial partners could be acquired. The main topics addressed in mini-projects were classification, object detection, text mining, and anomaly detection tasks. Present data modalities were versatile. In mini-projects, image, audio, text, and video datasets were used, often as surrogate data. Surrogate data was acquired from alternative sources, as industrial partners could or would not provide any data. However, industrial partners acknowledged the format and widely wished to continue cooperation. In 2018, 36 students worked on 70 mini-projects and 100% of them accomplished their task. In 2019, 40 students attended in 15 mini-projects and 93.3% finished their task. The dropout group reported too much workload from other courses as a reason. In general, student group formation was never a problem. Attendance of the lectures was perceived to be higher in comparison to lectures before the reframing. Yet, lab sessions were not attended regularly. Monitoring of student group progress was feasible though. In case a student group had to work with surrogate data, they were more likely to experience problems, for example regarding data understanding. The workshops in 2018 and 2019 were well attended, with each approximately 70 attendees. Industrial partners showed strong interest in presentations of other groups. Some industrial partners recruited their peers to attend the workshop and also to provide mini-project topics by themselves. Usually, students of the Business Computer Science Master course display a minority. In 2018, none of them attended the course. However, in 2019, their share rose to 30% after the first workshop. In 2019, after the workshop, a questionnaire handed out to students was returned by 87.5%. This displays an N of 35 students. The majority of students rated the provided manuals, software tools, and received support by tutors as good to very good. Nearly all of them agree that a perpetuation of the new teaching approach would be reasonable. The reframed approach is perceived to foster comprehension of theory without exception. The experiences made during work on mini-projects are diverse. While most students stated an adequate need for coordination with industrial partners, some experienced the lack, while few found it rather high. Nearly half of the students experienced their mini-project to be more time-consuming than originally targeted. They report much more effort than 30 hours per person. However, few found it to take less effort. The majority found the experience level of complexity to be rather high, while few found it to be less complex. The wish to choose a machine learning topic for a project or master thesis is rather evenly distributed, though a slight positive tendency is perceptible. Ultimately, the majority of students feel able to solve a similar task. Free text comments are mainly positive, approving the new teaching approach and the workshop in particular. Single comments recommended encouragement of students to consider further use cases for industrial partners, pledged for a higher share of the task in the final score in regards to the spent effort, and wish for an initial tutorial for provided software tools. The presented results are discussed in the following. The first evaluation showed a positive resonance that is affirmed by very low dropout rates. The provided manuals, tools and guidance show to facilitate familiarization with machine learning methods. Individual guidance accelerated mini-projects kick-off phases in particular. In general, mini projects are perceived as challenge, and motivation and perseverance are high. Access to the mentioned supercomputer seemed to foster experimenting behavior, potentially because of the fact that time becomes a less limiting factor. Strains due to parallel courses are generally reported as obstacle. However, group work and flexible time management enabled a reasonable workload balancing. Social and personal skills were assumed to be already developed sufficiently because of prior bachelor studies. Self-organization displayed still a problem for some. Industrial partners benefit from participating and gain insight into other topics. The exchange at workshops boosts finding of new ideas in particular. Yet there is a potential reservation to share data in the first instance. The increased share of business computer science students is potentially due to reframing of the approach and due to industrial contact. In regards to the acquired mini-project topics, a trend for anomaly detection was revealed and included into lectures. The presented work has limitations though. An observer or expectancy bias may be present, however, it was tried to mitigate them by using blind evaluation. An evaluation of industrial partner experiences was not performed yet. So far, from industrial partners, only positive feedback has been reported. Negative feedback may be held back though. To conclude, differentiated mini-projects consider the heterogeneity of a joint course. There are positive effects on the perception of the priorly disliked semester task. Self-identification is fostered and students gain practical experience. In exchange, industrial partners gain know-how. A lesson learned is that the final score share was raised to 30% in 2020 due to excess work. This may further increase commitment. The focus of future work will lie on long-term evaluation and further improvements. An industrial partner evaluation will be performed via an own questionnaire to gain insight. Further, experiments on group sizes and intergroup cooperation will be tested. At this point, we would like to thank the organizers for the successful reorganization of the event, as well as our anonymous reviewers for their excellent comments and improvement proposals. The following slide shows the references used in this presentation, and this last slide closes it. Many thanks for your attention. In case you have any questions, please do not hesitate and approach us directly.